Good morning to everybody. This is the very first clip that I'm presenting, and this clip is regarding the generalities and how the software we are using is working. So before starting, we need just to establish a VPN connection in order just to go to the server license of the software. So you see, I'm going here. I'm launching the 40 client, that is this one. Okay, so I'm opening the console of the 40 client, the VPN. So I'm just assessing using my email address at the Politecnico di Torino. You know, this is my address, and now I'm just inserting my personal password. I'm writing it down, okay, and I'm connecting. So now, when I will be connected, I will be establish a connection directly with our server in order just to be seen as an internal user of the Polytechnic. You see, so this is what is happening. All right, so this is the 40 client. So now we are established a VPN connection, and now I can start the software. In order to start the software, I can go here. So this is our software is called Envi, and this is the version 6.0. So I'm opening the Envi 6.0. You see that we have many different possibilities. So Envi 6.0. Envi 6.0 plus IDL 9.0, Envi Classic, and whatever. I will explain the difference, but we will start with the Envi 6.0. Okay, this one. So I mean is starting, and we will have just a very short overview of the software. This is the icon, and now it's available here. All right, so you see that this software is something that is divided in the layout, I mean, is divided in different parts. So you see, we have at the beginning the icon of the name of the software, just to let you know that the Envi is a quite old software. It is the first version was around at the end of the 80 and the beginning of the 90 of the last century, and the Envi is an acronym that stands for Environment for Visualizing Images. So I mean, it's this acronym seems to be, I mean, very reduced as meaning, because I mean, fortunately, this software is not only able to visualizing images, but also to process images, but in general to process data in a very effective way. You see, the layout of the software is divided into different parts. I'm not going to explain every single different menu, but just to give you an information concerning the general layout. So you see here in the beginning we have these menus here. That are, for example, the file, the edit, the display, the placemark, the views, the server, and help. So I mean, you see here we have a menu, and in this menu you see, for example, if we are going to file open as, we can have sub menu, for example, optical sensors, and we can do, for example, I don't know, to European Space Agency to have also other different menus. As I mentioned before, I'm not going to explain every single menu, but just to give you a very general overview. These menus here are, of course, used for opening and saving files, data, and sessions. In these things here, just to display the data on the screen. This place mark is just to add some information in the data itself. Here, the views are related to how we can arrange the different views. These are related, the server is to connect the software with different servers. We will not use this particular option. in our course, but I mean, you should know that we can connect to an external server. And what is very important is the help part, because I mean, from the software, you can access directly to the online help. Of course, it's an online help, so you should be connected to internet in order to access to the different information. Here you can search for contents or just to have a list of shortcuts and whatever, and just to check for the updates of the software. But for these last things, I mean, we are taking care of giving you the more reliable and updated version. So, for example, if I'm pressing contents, you see that here you have also F1. That means that every single voice of the menu, item of the menu, can be accessed by using the mouse, in particular the left button of your mouse, or you can also use a shortcut. In this case, it's the F1 button. So if I'm pressing the F1 button, you see I'm redirected to the Envi IDL portal, in which you see we can have all the information. So the contents of Envi and IDL and the index. So you can search for keywords in order just to get your help online. Here we have also to mention the facts that I mean, we are taking care of the Envi software, while IDL is the programming language in which Envi is written. So I mean, stating that we are users of the software, we are not going into IDL programming languages, but we are remaining in the Envi software. So we are using the software and we are not customizing the software itself. So I mean, we are going here to Envi, and you see you have all the information comprising whatever I will explain in this video, in maybe sometimes in more details, and you will have more information concerning also some commands or some procedures that will not be taken because I mean, or they are very particular, or because simply we don't have time to do everything. So let's close these things here. So I mean, this is the general menu. Then you see here we have a list of buttons. Most part of this button are not available, because I mean they will be available when you will have, for example, data on the screen. For example, here we have the open, and this icon is the equivalent of this information that we have here. So files open. What's up? You see, and I mean, from this point of view, what we are doing is just the fact that I mean, we can use the item from this menu, or we can have the icons in which we have a shortcut to that. So if I'm clicking, for example, the icon open, you see I will go exactly to the same menu and the same windows that I will have if clicking here in file. You see, if I'm going open, I will have the same things. All right, here you have many different icons, and these shortcuts that are in the form of icons can be customized. So you can you can add more icons, or you can take them out if you don't need that. And usually, by default, are the icons that usually are the most used for very practical operation. So apart from that, then we are going here to the left part of the layout. In the left part of the layout, you see you have this part of the windows that is called Layer Manager. This Layer Manager is a sort of legend in which you have all the data that are displayed or not displayed, but they are in some way open in the software. So I mean, here now we don't have any data, and so you will have a particular video in which I will explain you how to open the different data. But in this case here, you see the layer manager is the list of all the data that are open.
With this icon here, you see upper right of this layer manager windows, you can also have the detach button. This detach button, you see, can just leave your windows floating onto the screen. Then that could be useful because you will see that on the same visualizing windows we can have many data, and so maybe we need this part of the screen free of these sort of legends or the layer manager, and so we can detach and, for example, just hide here and pick it up when it's necessary. If I re-click on this icon upper left, I will reattach in the same position you see these layer manager windows. Then I will have the bigger part of the layout, that is this one that I'm pointing with my mouse, and this part is where all the data will be displayed. And so, stating that there are many data that can be displayed in the same time, and you can just split this view in many different subviews, and this is led by this menu here, the views. You see that, for example, you can use one single view, 2 vertical views, 3 or 4 vertical views, or having horizontal views or whatever. So I mean, you can split this area in different views. I mean, this is the most important part of the layout, because this is the part that should be as large as you can in order just to see as many data as is possible with the same details, of course. Then you have these other windows, the right windows, that is the toolbox. Also, this toolbox windows can be detached. So I'm detaching that, and you see this toolbox is simply all the list of any possible instruction and items you have available for, I mean, processing your data, or simply do some integration of your data. For example, if I'm going, I don't know, let me go to the classification. You see there's a list of folder in which there are the main themes, the main topics. For example, classification is used to classify the image. If I'm exploding this classification, you see we can have some particular option, for example, classification workflow and member collection or whatever. But we can also, for example, if we have here another folder, yellow folder, supervised classification, just to explode this supervised classification. Of course, we are working in Windows, so if the Windows is not big enough, we can enlarge the windows in order to read everything. And you see, for example, in this menu, classification, supervised classification, all these items here are particular algorithms of classification. So, I mean, for example, if we want to use, I don't know, the minimum distance classification, we can just double click on that, all right? And we will open the possibility to classify with this particular classifier our dataset. So, I mean, this is a sort of list of all possible operations we can perform using Envi. So I can attach again in the same position as default this menu. At the end, we have also this part that is on the bottom of the views. You see that now is completely void and empty. But when we will load some data, you will have here some information. For example, the reference system with the, for example, easting and northing coordinates, scrolling when you are moving the mouse, and some other information that will appear here when you will have your data available in the layer manager and visualized in this screen. Consider that whatever you have here in the layout can be customized. And in order to customize these things here, you can go, for example, in the main menu here, File, you can go to the Preferences, and you see you can really set all your preferences, also in order to point the data and to add annotation or to vectors and whatever. But also here you can just have a shortcut manager that is something that is used just to define your shortcuts. Because you remember I mentioned the fact that, for example, you can pick from the menus the different operation, but you can have also shortcut. And for example, here you see that the bottom F1 is related to the contents, the F2 is the rename item and whatever. For example, the F4 that will be very, very important in the future is the data manager and whatever. But you see, you can add whatever you want. This is the list of all the different possible operations you can shortcut, and you can add a different shortcut to the different things here. And you can customize whatever you want, all right, in order just to build up your customized version of the software. I don't have anything else to add because all the different button and shortcut will be used when we will display the data and we will go through some particular operation. And so this is just the way in which I want just to explain you these possibilities. Consider, and this is the very last things, that till now I use only my mouse using the left button of the mouse. But consider that when we will start to load data and to work with the data, we will use also the right button of the mouse and also the middle, the button that we have in the center of the mouse that is also used to do other things. So consider that every single menu can be accessed by the menu itself, the different items, also with shortcut, and the same menu could be accessed also sometimes by pop-up menu that are available using the mouse, especially the right button of the mouse. So consider in very general terms that when we are using the mouse, the left button of the mouse is used to select items, and the right and the center button of the mouse is used for different operations. In particular, usually the right button of the mouse is used to make disappear or appear a pop-up menu that can add some more items to select. So for the layout, it's enough, and thank you for your attention.